We speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, we'd only do it on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the people. And they say the voice of the people is the voice of God, my brother, my sister. And of course, I am most excited to be with you. Remember here, we are not neutral. Never we have taken sides, the side of the truth. That is why we keep telling you, we are the headquarters of the truth. My brother, my sister, and I'm most excited to be with you. No two ways about them thing, the man. Okay, and today we have a number of issues to look at. And I must tell you that I'm excited. Oh my God, have mercy. Interesting things are happening, and I need you to come along. My brother, my sister. Now the very first story we are looking at today is taken from Ghana Web, and it says Evatex threatens to sue GACL for $64.6 million American over contract termination. And my brother, my sister, I read, I need you to come along. Now, Evatex Logistics Limited, the mining and stevedoring company, which was awarded an auditing and revenue assurance contract at the Kotoka International Airport, has threatened to sue the Ghana Airport Company Limited over the decision to terminate the contract. Evatex has ordered GACL to withdraw the notification to terminate the contract within 7 days. If GACL fails to do so, Evatex says it will proceed to court to enforce its right, including but not limited to its capital investments stated supra. Now, a letter written by lawyers for Evatex, KRG and Company, stated a claim by Evatex that it has invested $64.6 million American in the airport contract. My brother, my sister, in Ghana, a lot of us are very weak when it comes to thinking. A lot of us are below standard when it comes to IQ. Now, when this issue first came out, investigations were able to rope together SML and Evatex. I remember when I first posted it on social media, a few people came up to me and said, but there was no money lost. Why should anybody be held responsible? You see how daft some Ghanaians are. They wait until the fire from the mountain descends and starts burning down residents before they see the danger in whatever they are doing. They have soon forgotten that attempting to kill is killing. And an attempted suicide, my brother, my sister, though it's not suicide, is punishable under the law. We Ghanaians are always ready for the consequences, my brother, my sister. Before we start crying foul, we do not know what it means to say prevention is better than cure. Adom Otchere was the board chairman of the GACL, Ghana Airports Company Limited, under the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo criminal regime, irresponsible regime. My brother, my sister, Adom Otchere was the boss of GACL. His wife was the deputy CEO of Exim Bank. I do not doubt their qualifications and credentials. That is not where I am coming from. I am only building a certain dossier for my argument. My brother, my sister, SML was fingered in a certain corruption-related deal. The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, my brother, my sister, like an ostrich whose head was under the sun, was finally tired of burying his head in the sun. He had to come out and face reality. He decided to abrogate the contract of SML after we had investigations from investigation journalist, in fact, investigative journalist Manasseh Azure Awuni. And also, the government also asked for an independent investigation into the SML deal. It came out that, in fact, this was a criminal entity, very corrupt entity, that had tied its girdles around GRA, Ghana Revenue Authority, my brother, my sister, in a certain mafioso that only Jesus Christ can unravel. Hallelujah. My brother, my sister, SML was disgraced. Ken Oforiatta had signed a deal with them. So much millions of American dollars were paid to SML. In fact, the contract was even supposed to be, in fact, renewed upon expiry, according to the contract, for another 5 solid years. It came out that this was a criminal outfit, and therefore, they had to kick them out, chop them off like a bad habit. My brother, my sister, they went back and they were able to metamorphose into Evatex. And this time round, they looked for Paul Adom Otchere. Of course, a baby of the NPP. My brother, my sister, and decided to use him. According to him, there had some board meetings in which they invited Evatex to come over. They ended up, my brother, my sister, with a contract for revenue assurance, my brother, my sister, when they had no experience whatsoever, according to Manasseh Azure Awuni's research and investigation. No prior knowledge, no prior experience of revenue assurance. And investigation showed that, in fact, Evatex was actually an offshoot of the defunct SML, the criminal entity that was banned and kicked out by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo under pressure. Well, Paul has been exuding his innocence all along. He has said it time and again that he had nothing to do with that kind of procurement. After all, he was just the board chairman. He just heard the people when they came and talked to the board, and that was it. It was not for him to say yes or no to the procurement. The OSP invited him over. There were some Ghanaians who didn't like it. He mentioned some names of people who in high position who solidarized with him. My brother, my sister, whatever it was, I thought that it was irresponsible for all those that he mentioned that stood by him in his own words. Why are you standing by a man who, my brother, my sister, has been invited for an investigation? Are you standing by him in order to say that, oh, whoever has invited him is wrong? Or you are standing by him hoping that he will come up clean as the man that you know? If that is so, then I have no problem absolutely with that. There are people we trust, and when they happen to be in some sort of investigation, all we can exude is, oh, I know who you are, and I appreciate who you are. And for that matter, all I can say is that just go ahead, my brother, my sister, and show who exactly you are. We know that you will come out very, very clean. That is not too much of a problem. My brother, my sister, at the end of the day, those people who were saying, oh, you know what? There was no money lost. Evatex came in, they were not paid anything by GACL, and in the words of Paul Adom Otchere himself, there was no money lost. In Paul Adom Otchere's old words, GACL, Ghana Airports Company Limited, paid no money whatsoever to this outfit called Evatex. Today, there's nothing like free dinner, nothing like free lunch. Today, Evatex says, even though we were not paid any money, we had a contract and we invested this amount of money in the contract. If you are abrogating the contract, please pay us 64 point how much? Can you imagine? 64.6 million American dollars. Convert that into Ghana cedis. You will be shocked how much money this is. My brother, my sister, why is it that Ghanaians are too interested in waiting for the consequences before they take action? We are not proactive in any way. We are not ready for prevention. All we need or want or seem to want is a cure. The things that we will do to prevent a certain consequence, a certain outcome, we will not do. We wait until the consequences come. Then we say, oh, you know what? How do we solve it? What a daft people. So to those people who were going to the gallery saying that no money was paid to Evatex, including Paul Adom Otchere himself, my own very good friend Paul Adom Otchere, no money was paid. GACL did not pay any money. I even insisted as a board chairman that no money will be paid to Evatex. Evatex has come. Who is going to pay this money? Should the court say pay? So you see, yes, GACL didn't pay, but at the end of the day, this company is saying that it's invested 64.6 million American dollars. Sometimes some of us Ghanaians make us feel like geniuses. What we sit down and see, many people can't see, even if they were on top of the highest mountain in Africa, Kilimanjaro. Today, look at it. Judgment dirt is going to befall the country. GACL is not a private ownership of Paul Adom Otchere. He was working on behalf of the people of Ghana. We were paying him salaries, my brother, my sister, and every other person working there. Yet, according to the investigation, they went for Evatex that had no prior experience of this kind of job called revenue assurance. And it looked like the appointment or the contract was even backdated. This is criminal. No money was lost. This was what the OSP was trying to prevent. This was why Ghana has to take corruption issues really seriously. Today, I don't know how Ghanaians feel about this. Evatex is claiming 64.6 million American dollars from the Ghana Airports Company Limited. At the same time, the former Chief Justice, Madam Tokunu, is also running helter-skelter, suing the nation for so much money. My brother, my sister, it is not bad for anybody to go to court. It only deepens our democracy. But the point is simple. Could we have prevented this? Yes. If we had done due diligence, if we had put away party partisanship and rather put in front as priority patriotism, all these things would never have happened. But we are a nation that lacks patriotism. We are too partisan. We are fighting on religious lines, tribal lines, political lines, every kind of line. We are fighting. When will this nation grow? When is this nation going to grow, my brother? And when you criticize a man Many are those who ask you a question. In Ghana, one question is always involved. Do you have a problem with him? Do you have a personal axe to grind with him? It means that you can't criticize your friend. You cannot criticize people that you don't have a problem with. Personal problems. What a nation. Well, I leave it here. Next thing I want to look at is equally interesting. And I need you to come along. Oh gosh. My brother, my sister, and I need everybody to open their eyes and listen with rapt attention. What? We have stories here. Hey. I'm reading this from Ghana Web, and it says, it is difficult to escape the cacophony of calls for Mahama to run for a third term. And this Kwesi Pratt talking. And I read, veteran journalist and managing editor of the Inside newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr., has expressed grave concern over calls from a faction of the public to allow President John Dramani Mahama to run for a third term. Now, in a write-up shared on X on August 4, 2025, Kwesi Pratt said that the calls for the amendment of Article 66 of the Constitution, which limits presidential terms to 2 terms, should be taken seriously, describing any attempt to alter it as a disturbing development. It is difficult to escape the cacophony of calls for the amendment of the 1992 Constitution to make it possible for President John Dramani Mahama to contest elections for a third term. I am deeply worried by this development because I am keenly aware of the lessons of history which teach that the apparent orchestration can only lead to a total disaster for everybody, he said. Kwesi Pratt recounted how one of Ghana's military leaders, Colonel Ignatius Kutu Echampong, who according to him was one of the best leaders the country has had, lost the favor of Ghanaians when he attempted to extend his stay in office and eventually lost his life. Echampong's popularity took a nosedive when he sought to introduce the union government idea, and the general perception was that he wanted to extend his stay in power indefinitely. Now the resistance was massive, and crucial state resources were diverted from production to put into useless charm projects. The economy suffered, he wrote. President Mahama is a gentleman, and a gentleman that I know will rebuff. In fact, he will relegate to the dirtiest background with the contempt it deserves to break the very backbone of the 1992 Constitution. It is happening in the Ivory Coast. Alassane Ouattara, the puppet of the West, in fact, France, my brother, my sister, has lost it all. He wants to run again. After changing the Constitution, what a coward. This is what the Constitution says. That, hey, you can only run for 2 terms. My brother, my sister, until the law courts come back to tell us the true interpretation of 2 terms. Me as a layman, my understanding is that each term is 4 years. President Mahama has done his first term. This is the second term. He is a gentleman, and he will not run for a third term. Now, but this should be a very big credit to the president. If people are already looking up to you 7 months into your governance for the second term to run for a third term, it means that you're doing something very, very much copying, emulating, very worthy of applause. My brother, my sister, President Mahama is teaching us a lesson in governance. And I would like to share this with the president, though I don't need to. Let's all look at Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela went to jail for how many years? He came out of jail, lost his wife, my brother, my sister, to another man in promiscuity, we are told. He came out of jail, losing his libido and probably his erection. Why am I talking about libido and erections? These are the things that keep a man very, very much like a man. Tell me one man who cannot have an erection. Tell me one man who doesn't have a libido. And I will point to lack of confidence. My brother, my sister, no matter how much you have achieved, if you don't have the libido, if you don't have the erection, you consider yourself less of a man. Unfortunately so. Mandela came out of jail losing almost everything mondial. He ran for the first term. Everybody wanted him to run again. He was the most popular man on earth. He was, in fact, a picturesque hallelujah. A picturesque manifestation of good governance. I shiver and stammer when I talk about Nelson Mandela. We all know about apartheid in South Africa, the role he played. My brother, my sister, he was a symbol of black freedom. Of course, he had his challenges and he also had his weaknesses. At the end of the day, my brother, my sister, you know what Nelson Mandela did? He ran for only one term. Legally, he could have run for another term, but you know what he said? It was not for health reasons. It was just, my brother, my sister, for the reason of a good name. Leave when the applause is loudest. President Mahama has made it clear already that he is not ready to run for a third term. Now, I would always speak as a prophet. If prophets speak, be careful when you say no to these things. You will fall like Samson. My brother, my sister, you will fall like Saul. See what happened. If President Mahama decides that he will stick to the Constitution and will not run for a third term, my brother, his name would be enshrined in history from now till the end of time. Number two, he can always handpick anybody he wants to be president, and it will come to pass. You don't need to be a president before you can enjoy the full benefits of a president. Am I speaking sense? There's no need. For me, it is even more honoring to sit aside and choose who would be the next president. It puts you in a position of power. Everyone is looking for your endorsement. The person that you endorse looks up to your track record, your dossier, your legacy, and everybody points to one direction, that this was the man who changed the course of Ghanaian politics. Don't let greedy bastards push this president into going or attempting to go for a third term. It shall be resisted. Thankfully, the president said no, he's not running. Why? Everybody is looking forward to the president running for a third term because of the good things happening. Some are saying, no, it's early days yet. The dollar has come down. Greedy companies and sellers are refusing to reduce prices, like DSTV. And we are coming after them, one after the other. The market woman who sells tomatoes, okra, gari, kobe, shito, and all that. You are all part of the problems we have in this country. When the dollar coughs a little bit and goes a little high, you all increase prices immediately, even if you bought your goods 20 years back. But when the dollar starts coming down, no, you are reluctant in reducing prices because you are demons. And you get up and say you are a Christian. Which Christian? You call yourself a Muslim. What Muslim? My brother, my sister, Kwesi Pratt is saying that we should look at history and learn. Kutuwe Champong lost the favor of the people and even died so sadly in the hands of the 79 revolution. In fact, we have had other people who tried to do that. Yahya Jammeh, look how he lost favor in the eyes of the people, and much more. President Mahama is a gentleman. He will never risk the wonderful legacy he started building. After all, what else do you want? You have been blessed enough. I leave it here. My brother, my sister. Times are hard. My brother, my sister. Times are truly hard. And when I look at some of these news items, I really feel terrible. Really terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. My brother, my sister, there's another interesting story here that I would like us to look at. And I need all of us to open our ears and listen with rapt attention. Oh my God. This one I'm also reading from Ghana Web. And it says, can you provide my 4 houses in 2 weeks? Can you provide my 4 houses in 2 weeks? Adom Otchere dares Martin Kpebu. And I read, Paul Adom Otchere has challenged private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu to substantiate claims that he owns 4 houses in Accra, asking him to provide evidence within 2 weeks. He said on a media platform that I have 4 properties in Accra and that he is going to show them. I sent him a text that, please, in 2 weeks, can you show the property? Adom Otchere revealed during an interview on Channel 1 TV on Monday, August 4, 2025. That's yesterday. Now, the challenge follows growing public interest in the OSP's bail conditions in ongoing investigations into a revenue assurance contract awarded by GACL during Adom Otchere's tenure. In fact, instead of using the word awarded, they should rather say rewarded. They have rewarded their faithfuls. This is not an award. An award is merited. It's soul sourcing, my brother, my sister. Haphazardly done. It's a shame. And I read. Now, the former board chairman of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, GACL, and broadcaster was detained on July 31, 2025 for failing to meet the bail requirement of providing 2 landed properties as surety, a condition he said he could not meet due to his lack of landed property in Ghana. Adom Otchere has consistently defended his claim that he owns no estate registered in his name, despite widespread public skepticism and criticisms from Martin Kpebu. I have no landed property in my name, and that is easily verifiable, he maintained. If a person lives in a house for 20 years and says, I don't have landed property, why is that awkward? The house address is available. The Lands Commission is available. Everyone can check, he added. he further pushed back against societal assumptions, suggesting that shared family property is often wrongfully or wrongly attributed solely to men. I even look at it as a bit chauvinistic. If a man and a woman live together and have a house, it is believed that it belongs to the man. But people act differently. Martin Kpebu, speaking on Joy FM's top story on Friday, August 1, 2025, cast doubt on Adom Otchere's declaration, claiming multiple sources have informed him that the broadcaster owns several properties in Accra. Paul telling OSP that he has no property is false. Not one, not two. There are people who are buzzing my phone, telling me why telling me they will take me to show the properties that Paul paid them money to build. Kpebu alleged he was attempting to mislead the OSP. Kpebu argued that the OSP should not rely solely on such declarations when setting bail terms, especially in high-profile cases. Adom Otchere, who was later released after the Jospon group of companies stepped in as surety under revised bail conditions, questioned the OSP's initial approach. Well, we are just referees. We wait for the action and then we make sure that the rules are abided by. My brother, my sister, does Adom Otchere have 4 houses, 3 houses? Martin Kpebu said, many people keep boggling and buzzing his phone, telling him they know the properties that Adom Otchere owns. In fact, he gave them money to build the houses for him. Well, all this can be checked at the Lands Commission. Where are the investigative journalists? Now, his party is not in power. At least the chance of shrouding any information would be very, very minimal. Can we find out what he owns and what he doesn't own? Did he declare his assets before he took office as the board chair of the GACL? We need to look at all these things. Did he or did he not? My brother, my sister, we get into politics empty-handed and we come out with everything. I'm not saying that's what has happened to Paul, but all I'm saying is we always need to declare assets when we are taking public office. Where's the Lands Commission? Can you make it available? What properties he owns in terms of landed property? Is the Black Pot. I beg your pardon, it is the voice of the patriot, a.k.a. the voice of the people.